Hello, this is EvereTT Pierce, and it is December the 11th, 2016, and we have 10 minutes after 5. Okay, this is part 2 to I Am Everett. I Am Everett part 2. Okay, first of all, of Einstein 314, March the 14th. That is my previous life. Abraham Lincoln is also my previous life. I am an alpha prime, meaning I have to partake in the evolutional time frame of man in his development in terms of understanding me. I am solely for the purpose of kicking extinction right in its ass, at the same time keeping it alive, showing mercy, and know that it has to exist and not take it completely out. Because if I take it completely out, it also destroys me. The two-factor. That's why we have left and right arms. And our side of our body, male and female, day and night. That's why we have this diversity out here. Now, what we're going to talk about today that gives you insight of who is Everett. Okay. Now, this is the topic that energy, God if you want to call him, or Allah, or Jehovah, or whatever. It says, you can call me anything, but never call me late for dinner. And that's why some cultures and religious sectors put out a plate on the table for that purpose, for the sake of understanding. So, we're just saying we're in a crisis situation. We've heard of the term World War III. We've been through World War I and II, and World War III, which is the war of God. So, if we are on the urge of World War III, and I know the source. We see symptoms. You know, we have a snotty nose, but that's not the cold. That's a symptom. I have a sore throat. That's a symptom. So identify all my symptoms, and I get to the source of the issue. Okay, and I find that communications is it's the driving force to World War III. Okay, now as a master chess player has to know its pieces. Just like Donald Trump he's going through the process of putting the best of people in there. Now, and it's not solely upon him, because he's my apprentice. He knows it's also in correlation to what energy or God is saying. Because you may have 10 people that are freaking awesome, but energy says, and also to help develop our President-elect Trump is figuring out what is kind of like fine-tuning the best of people. Because everyone's considered awesome. Less than 1% of this world, sixth heaven, less than 1% of the life that's out there. That itself, when you think about it, you say, wow, I am awesome. I reached this level and because of spiritual amnesia. That's why some people don't remember their past lives and their skill sets. And that's why some people say, wow, I just know how to do this. And I never been through the training. I just know how to do it. Okay, so in a World War III situation, and it's on the brink of breaking out. And I know communications is the driving force behind this. Now, I've been watching the media, and I'm good at identifying things. Okay, and I simulate things in my head is what is the possible thing? And I have identified Judge Jeannie Pyro, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, and Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly is what I classify as a surgeon. As we know with surgeons, steady hands, being very, very precise. A spokesman, a news spokesman. Now, Judge Jeannie just reached A and 6+ signs. That means they have fine-tuned themselves to themselves, not to anyone else, but to themselves of being the very best. Meaning if they try to tweak it a little bit further, instead of being an A+++++, they'll back off. And that's how you know, in terms of a person of intelligence coming up with an equation, when you push it a little bit further, that's fine-tuning. You'll find that you're further back. So that's why you have to know your boundaries. And you say, well, that's right there is right perfect. So I would take Bill O'Reilly and Judge Jeannie to all the nations. And we set things up on the table. And me being the mediator means, and I would allow them to come forth with factual things about all nations and to eliminate and establish communications. Because we don't want other nations thinking, drawing the conclusion, judging this book by its cover, and draw the conclusion that we're out to get them. We're going to destroy them. So that's why we would put the communications out. Now, why Judge Jeannie? Now, Judge Jeannie, her label is misconviction. She's the only one that I have seen, like a surgeon, she can put that level of conviction out there and hold it as steady as a surgeon. And that is very, very difficult to do. I understand the level of conviction. And a lot of people can put that conviction out there. But how many can hold it on a very, very steady level? Not many people. I mean, we're talking like very, very, of all the life out there. I mean, that puts her in the 1 percentile. Doesn't say there isn't more people, male and females, like her in terms of conviction. But that is highly, highly valued. Because other nations and other people, there's this element of people taking you seriously. When you put that element of conviction in there, there's no doubt. It's like, I'm not asking for your respect. I'm not asking you to partake in this and find a resolve. I am demanding respect, and you will partake in the resolution here, because extinction is our true enemy. It is not me, it is not you, it's not them over there, it's extinction. For every life is the opposite. For every action, there's a reaction, is extinction. It thinks and has a personality just like you and me. And that's why I have picked Judge Jeannie. As what I know with the conviction, if you take it too far, it'll flip on you, like the symbolism of the sword. What is your salvation will also and can come back and cut your head off. And what I've seen, just paying attention to the details and the tones and the whole body language that she does, she has this uncanny ability to put, as they say, the Holy Ghost, the shivers in your body, because people love conviction, of the truth. I mean, you could be conviction of the false, okay, but she's of the truth, meaning if you want to live life 4 billion years in the future, you want Judge Jeannie. And especially if we're in a crisis situation, we're trying to put resolve and put everyone at a relax so we don't destroy each other. And then extinction says, ha ha, you suckers. I told you I was better than you. We are the human race. We are considered awesome by me and by energy. And awesome. I mean, and you figure we make up less than 1% of all the life out there. So we're beyond, a person's self-worth and self-esteem. Just soak that in. That's why I know if I took Bill O'Reilly and Judge Jeannie Puro, that Judge Jeannie is going to maintain that level of conviction without taking it forward. I mean, with certainty of certainty. Because I know if it flips over, when it comes to conviction, have you heard of people say, oh, he thinks he's better than me. He thinks he's all highest and pious, like he's from Harvard, and I'm the superior voice. So conviction can turn nasty. It can flip on you, and then they'll say, I know for a fact that some of it is after me. Okay, and Judge Jeannie does a beautiful job of bringing it right up there without flipping conviction. Judge Jeannie can also get away with saying, you loser, without you actually taking it personal. I mean, because a lot of people fling words out there, and with that conviction, It's just a matter of establishing. Meaning you lose it. Means you lost. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're less than awesome. It means along the line, you fell short to number one. Okay, but on the same token, in terms of conviction, is still saying you're still freaking awesome. Okay, stop being complacent. I'm going to expect you to be the best that you can be. And I'm going to be the best that I can be. And that's how we become win-win situation. We kick extinction right in the ass. And we say, hey, you tone it down here. Because we're staying around for a long time to come. Okay, and same with Bill O'Reilly. When you listen, he's an older man. So when you first listen to him, it's like you're listening to your father. Okay, and as with family, it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to my dad. Mainly because you know what he has to say is of endearment. It is a factual thing. And that you know that that's what you should follow and hold to in terms of principles. And the way he used his language, verbal and nonverbal communications, along with opening things up, like the surgeon, being very steady about everything. Because with some nations out there, they're hardcore logic. There are many different levels of evolution. So we need someone that will be very delicate, like a surgeon. And then we have Judge Jeannie that comes forward. And then now when it's on the table and they bring their best of people and we're trying to put a resolve to it, the first thing that's going to happen on all sides is that we are all going to feel pathetic fools. Like, say, wait a minute, I thought you were against me and da 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 da. And be okay with the element of being pathetic. In terms of God. And I was having an issue with this. God would say, Everett, you're freaking pathetic. Why are you doing this? Okay, and that would get me mad and frustrated. Like energy, God had something personal against me. And then it finally hit me. It finally hit through communications, or say fake news. And I say, wait a minute, pathetic. God is saying pathetic in terms of, I built you to be here on a level 10. And somehow, because of your problem solving and not expanding your mind and using collective knowledge, you're falling on a level 6, a level 7, and it might peak up to 9. And you're fluctuating. You're not being consistent. Okay? So it's okay to be referred to as being pathetic. Because in a sense, we are all pathetic. In terms of the highest level of evolution, it's not pathetic because it has perfected its level of understanding everything damn near flawless. So anything less than that is pathetic. So, and it is our determination, our perseverance. So it's a way of saying, oh, he's calling me pathetic. Okay, what am I doing? Inventory. Companies do inventory and say, yeah, he's right there. I've been kind of half in it. It's just my emotions. I just haven't really been putting all myself into it. And yes, I was looking over here and I've only taken in partial information, like a piece to the puzzle. I've only been taking a couple pieces. So yeah, God's right about there. I've been pathetic in that area. And that's how you use reflection in your development of your evolution. And that's why I know with Bill O'Reilly and Judge Jeannie, I can be at the highest of effectiveness in terms of energy. It means 90-10. Meaning the best that I can set up is 90%. Well, some people say, well, aren't you going to want 100%? Well, in energy, there's 90-10. There's always 10%. There's an exception to the laws of energy. And we can talk about that onto its own series. Okay, so my objective is to do as high 90%. And then with the laws of energy means hindsight, foresee things. And that's why you have other skill sets. So when, like a surgeon, when he opens up the body and says, wow, the MRI didn't show this and the MRI didn't show this, like Ben Carson, his skill sets. And there's only so much that you can learn. And then the other part is using your skill sets Once it's open, it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable. And you say, wait, hey, that wasn't in there. I wasn't aware of that. And then they go into the cognitive thinking and say, wait a minute, okay, functionality, and boom, 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 boom. Now it's going, wow, like an engine, a purring motor. Boom, boom, boom. Before it was, okay, for the sake of understanding. Okay, once I have illustrated, it's not the sake of purposely making people look pathetic. Okay, because I want a win-win situation for you and me, and that we are happy and we live forward in 4 billion years of life and beyond. Okay, then I would bring another spokesman I call Hannity. He has a very skill set of poking fun in kind of a sarcastic way, but on the same way, on the tones of it, it's not offensive. Meaning, these nations out there, now I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt of the ignorance they have been working with. And people and nations can be vulnerable, and it hurts. And a lot of nations or people, as we see, they like to save face. So I would bring in Hannity, is put a little laughter to it. I want you to be able to kind of lighten up, laugh at yourself, and then most importantly, what are you going to do to make it better? What are you going to do to lower the percentage of your patheticness down to hardly there? So that's why, as a chess player, you have to know your pieces. And people, when it's out on the table, they can't take things personally. And when it's established that it's a win-win situation and our true enemy is extinction, it takes on a whole demeanor, a whole polarity of energy. You say, wait a minute, okay, I can handle that as long as I know that you're not out to destroy me. And it's like, okay, now it becomes fun. Now it's like you got a fire out of your ass, and now you say, yeah, and like Everett said, I'm going to identify my skill sets. I'm going to develop them. I'm going to fine tune them. So once you develop it, it don't stop there. Like I said, A+, just being here. And you're going to fine tune it. And you're going to say, okay, well, when I do this, and then it kind of seems to go away from me. When I fine tune it, and then I seem to get a little closer to it. And then it's like, I fine tune it just a little bit too much. And then I end up being back here, and it's like, whoa, that's using collective knowledge from a variety of people. Then you know, okay, I know how to keep it right here in a steady level. And that's what my entire existence. So when God said, Everett, you have reached beyond things, I want to reward you. Like the value that we see in the United States. People with gold coins and dollar bills and homes and value, monetary things. And if you want to know the truth, energy says, you name it, you got it. It is yours. And it's like, okay, you can have a home, you can have all this thing. And I said, I want to put my investment, what I see as valuable, is highly developed and skilled individuals in their evolution. Now let me explain to you as why. Okay, so we'll say I got 100 pounds of gold. And I look at the gold and I say, hey, go make me a house. The gold says, wait a minute, I'm gold. All I have to do is sit here and be heavy as motherfucker. Pardon my French, oui, oui. Okay, or I can have silver. Or energy says, what about a highly functional house? A device made of gold, pearls, everything, just immaculate, that would make Donald Trump Tower seem like you were in the projects. And I said, no, but if I get the right 10 people, and work with them all, and of course we got 7 billion people versus 10. Then I say, okay, we're a function here. Let's create something beyond and that's called settling for more. And then energy is, well, I mean, that's your choice. I said, that is my choice. And it's quite obvious. I can't tell that dollar bill to go up and fix my house because it leaks and it's leaking out my heat. But if I get 10 people and everyone from a different of diversity, not only can we make a house for each one of us, but we can all make 10 houses for each one of us. And it's far functional and better then energy just saying, here's an awesome house. So at some point I say, wait a minute, yeah, it's only awesome up until a point. I'm about functionality, about kicking extinction right in its ass. And I'm not, if I'm going to be hatred against anything, I'm hatred against it in a rightful manner. I mean, I know it has to exist. I study it and I know it like better, as they say, keep your friends close and your enemy closer. Extinction I have kept like my dear old brother, because it has no hard feelings about, because that's its job against forever life. So I would put my wealth or my investment in you guys, because we can go places that you would think it's unthinkable. That gold is not going to show me how to go faster than the speed of light. That gold is not in itself going to make me a house. That gold in itself, it can teach me to a certain level of the foundation of energy, but only up to a point. So there's limitation when it comes to value of things. But when it comes to man, you, the spirit of the sixth heaven, that's why I got my investment in you. And that's why when I was talking about Bill O'Reilly and Judge Jeannie, about bringing about, Trump says, making America great. That's like entry. It's like preschool, your first introductory. You're awesome. So we want to reach a level of freaking awesome. Freaking, the word freaking is not a negative 10. That means it is so fine-tuned. People use the term freaking. I mean, it just on the level that just puts goosebumps on top of goosebumps, tops of goosebumps, and you feel like the Holy Spirit is in your body and you just can't get rid of it. That type of level. So that's what I would do. That's what I am, Everett. How I think. It's about the we factor. Because it is we, just like the numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you take any one of those numbers out, and we'll just say the 3 goes, I'm from Harvard, and it's because of me that we're superior. And I slap the 3 in the face, and I don't think so. Now you get along with the 4 and the 5 and the 6 and the 7 and 8, and let's all become awesome. And as we know with mathematics, is we take all those symbolism that helps us understand energy, the measurement of energy, the characteristic, the personality of energy. And I stand back. And no one gets out of line. If you're a 2, practice to be the best 2. Don't be focused on, I'm a 2. Why can't I be a 1? I want to be a 1. Because I stepped forward and I said, because you suck at being a number 1. You are best. You're freaking awesome when you are being a 2. And the same way with the 3. So if man here on the sixth heaven will say, you're a level 1, and I'm a level 9, and say God is a level 10. Okay, as we know with the numbers, it all has to be together in a functional way for all to be on levels that is just, there's no word for it yet. And that's what's so awesome. That's why a lot of people have fire up their ass. Is people can see it, they can finally see it, and they feel it. That true sense of hope and faith, they're like, oh my God. It's like having a toothache. And you know how a toothache hurts so bad. And that moment that tooth is extracted out, and you're like, oh my God, I feel so good. And that's kind of where we're at here. We're not out of the woods yet. We're not through this evolutionary transition. But we are further along than we have ever been in 1 million resets. So you take 1 million times 4 billion, that's in terms of the time frame. And that's what you guys as a whole have accomplished. We are about to accomplish something that has never been accomplished using a wide variety of diversity. And that's what I put my investment of, is that you have a multitude of people working together and reaching heights and level that no life form out there has ever reached. when you put in the factor of diversity. Well, when you get everyone on the same evolution, that makes it simple. It's like someone with a billionaire and he just, it's simple. But what isn't, that hasn't been done before, is a diversity of people come together like a Ferrari motor, all the different pieces, and that sucker just vroom, vroom. It just sounds mean. It's like, yeah, baby, dude. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That is, I am Everett. If someone says, well, that's impossible, and you say, well, there's a trillion to one odds. I love odds, just like Trump. You say, oh, trillion to one odds? Okay. You say, well, then no one hasn't figured out it can be achieved. Now I got to figure out as to what am I doing that's keeping me from a plausibility, a reachable goal. And because when you say all things are possible, that's right. But because of your evolution, you got to take out the settings and limitations that you have placed upon yourself, and you say, okay, and you got to focus on, I call the 7-pound foot. It's not what you can do. It's that one little thing that stops you every single time from reaching the end zone. Is a 7-pound foot. It'll trip you every time. Boom. Why can I have a touchdown? Because that 7-pound foot, and you're 400 pounds, linebacker, boom. You can carry 6 people down the end of the field, but only takes that 7-pound foot to trip you, and you say, damn, almost, damn, almost, damn, almost. We have to be aware of that 7-pound foot. And communications in itself is symbolic to a 7-pound foot. It will trip you up every single time. It'll hand you your ass and and it expects you to say, please, can I have another? No. The dysfunction of communications cannot stop us. We cannot get down to the end zone and fumble the ball. As we know in the sports, we not only get in the end zone, but we're going to run right on through it and make sure we don't run into the uprights. Be like running down there and boing. So we have to be aware of these things. Run that son of a bitch right into the end zone, right out through the back. And make damn sure we didn't just get lucky on this transition, evolutionary transition. We are not going to be lucky about it. And like we see with sports, well, they just got lucky and because of this and that, it was just luck. I guarantee when we complete this, it won't be luck. You'll say, damn, that some bitch is good. And we'll all feel that way. And you say, yeah, because we all make up that system. I use metaphorically using numbers. Because just the symbols itself teaches us how to be, and we're reaching, like I said, I'm not kidding. This has never been done before, and that's why I've been so adamant every single time, every evolutional reset and man's timeline, always trying to figure out how to tweak it, how to tweak it, how to tweak it, how to tweak it. So it all comes together, and it's finally at that point now. We're not out of the woods. We're not in the end zone. We have to be conscious of that 7-pound foot that's going to stop us. And once we're in the end zone, then we can kind of relax a little bit and say, wow, whew, like pulling that tooth out and you're like, oh my God. So anyways, we'll end it right there. This part 2, I am Everett. Because it is critical that you know who I am, how I think, and what direction, intention. That's one of the things that gets lost in transition is a person's intention. My intention is self-preservation of man. And I love the feeling of being superior. And that's through hard work and fine-tuning yourself. But when it comes to the people on this earth, the element of superiority, and I am racist. The human race is considered superior, and that's because we have freaking earned it. Consider we were less than 1% of the rest of life out there? Yes. Pat yourself a little bit on the back and say, but only let's get busy on focusing on your skill sets. Let's develop them. Let's fine tune it like a radio These are all symbolism that helps us to evolve in our evolution. So I am very proud. I'm glad I put my investment in every single one of you out there, because I was certain of certainty. Yeah, I could have had all these other things, but I'm thinking, okay, what would take it to a level unthinkable? Just like Michael Jordan. Jordan said, I can go up there and dunk it. But what if I jump up high enough and I hang time, I could just drop the ball down on my foot and then slam it in with my foot. That would be awesome. And that's the type of thinking that Jordan has reached. And that's the type of thinking that I am Everett. Is the bar is here. And if there's plausibility that I can be up here, I'm going to figure it out. And energy says, yeah, you can figure it out. It's not going to be easy. And there's going to be some challenges. But when you reach it, unlike anything. So I'm putting my faith, I'm putting my investment in 7 billion people here. There are more. They're just not in the flesh. That's where all my, well, not all my investment, but that's where I decided to put my investment in. So I have to be part of this and help everything come together, because we are at a never achieved position amongst man, amongst life forms, from animals out there to insects out there, everything that was brought here because it was considered superior. You know, you think of the lottery, okay, you can come up with, say, 300 million different combination of numbers in exact order, okay? That's a lot of combinations, but there's only one of them that's drawn out. And that's essentially what you are. Is through my skill sets and energy, we have deliberately selected each and individual here on this planet. And using what I know and say, okay, put it over here, put it over there, and do an assessment. And I think I am Everett. I think in terms of large numbers. 7 billion is, to me, is like a few pennies. You know, I need a challenge of a diversity of people, diversity of thinking. Because, and we're almost at that point where I establish. Energy says, well, it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. And so I keep figuring it out and say, so now we're at that point is we are going to establish something that has never reached with life forms. It means it's with the diversity of people. That's the variable right there. The diversity of people versus you have this intelligence. They all think in the same level. That's easy. Because they're going to agree upon each other. They're going to understand each other. They're not going to fight against each other. That's easy. What is so difficult is the diversity of people. And they come together like all the little pieces and parts to a Ferrari car. And now instead of we're driving down the street at 50 miles an hour. Now we're going, oh shit! Wow! 200 miles an hour. Ah! So, you know, in terms of the false news and stuff that's been out there, that is what I can prove. We are on a, you know, like Trump said, tomorrow hasn't been written. You are the author. And that is so freaking true. We haven't been this far. And we definitely have not been past 2018. So you say 2 and 8. That adds to a 10. It's a 10 factor. 12, 21, 2000. Instead of 2012, it's 2018. Man has not seen one day past 2018. But that is not, we're not out of the woods there. It's 2021. And one day. Means in order to be in second grade, you have to show up at least one day of second grade to officially say you have completed first grade. So we need 2021 and one day. Then we are officially complete, successfully complete of this evolutionary transition, and we never have to go back to the beginning. Now we focus on 4 billion years in the future. 4 billion years in the future and more. And all evolution has a plateau. Everything has a transition, like we see in the development of a child. It starts out with actually it's a cell, and it develops into a child, and it grows up, and then it becomes an infant, and then it becomes a young adult. I mean, these are all transition things. So anyways, I'm going to end it right there, not to push the envelope on here on this part 2 of I Am Everett. So not only do I want to understand you, but it's also important for you to understand me. With that, we'll end it right there. I love you all, and I appreciate your time, because your time is valuable, just like mine. And if you want to give back a sense of love, you can also go to paypal.me/my name, Everett Pierce, and show me appreciation and give back some love to me. So with that, I have my own challenges, and I thank you for your time. This is Everett Pierce of Einstein 314.